Well, g'day, guys, and welcome to our first webinar of the year. Hooray! This is awesome to be back doing these fortnightly webinars with you guys. And thank you to I'm just going to say it right now, to the two people that out of 13 registered that are here today. So you guys are going to get the best. Sorry, I'll stop singing. But Morris and Helen, high five to you. And Emma is here as well. A few more people turning up. Andrew's here now. Mel Hall's here. Okay, cool. So here's the drill, guys, for this year. There's no more hand-holding this year. A few of you last year had a little bit of hand-holding going on. There is no more. What I'm going to teach you in this webinar is part of an entirely new way of thinking and a new strategy for this year. So I'll just let you know what's going on. First of all, I assume you can all hear me. So if you can hear me, just type in the word ninja, and I know you can hear me, and I can then keep going. So if anyone could just type that in for me, that'd be great. Ninja, awesome. Thanks, Em. So thank you, guys. I've got it. That's cool. So you should be able to see my screen as well. It says no false starts. So this year, you will be taking your business to the next level. This is the first stage of that. My planning for this for you started in June last year. It's always been on the cards that it was going to go this way. And today, I'm going to take you through how you can create a business strategy and structure that is far beyond anything that you probably or possibly thought you could have. And if you do what I ask you to do, you will get the results. So I'm going to share personally with you right now. Over the 3 weeks that I took off, I spent a lot of time in self-reflection and went back and looked at everything I had created and what I teach and so on. I also read a whole bunch of books and increased my level of knowledge. And, you know, in that time, I realized that what I teach you is world class. And it was cool for me to be able to hear myself say that. And I learned that through reading a bunch of books from a bunch of guys and girls as well that are renowned as world-class coaches. And I reflected upon what they do and what I do and the difference between them and me. And I'm going to tell you this. Their clients get results. So I looked even closer. And why do they get results? Because their clients implement 100% of the strategies that are taught by these people. Now, it could be because they're charging $50,000 to be a part of their program or whatever it is. You guys aren't paying $50,000. You're paying less than that. But right now, I'm going to ask you to have a full year of implementation, and it starts today. If it hasn't started already. Some of you do so fabulously well. Then there's some of you that do fabulously well some of the time. Then there's some of you that are still stuck in the old loops and the old patterns. And then there are some of you, one or two of you, or maybe a few more, that haven't even really started. In fact, I got an email from a member over the Christmas break asking to leave because they hadn't even done, after 6 months, they hadn't even done a module. And I'm going to tell you right now, it pissed me off. No end. Pissed me off. So you're not going to get anywhere unless you're an implementer, and that's what this year is all about. And if you're expecting a softly approach throughout the year, you're not going to get it. This year is a year of absolute implementation. Those that do the doing get the results. So the way that you start this year is most certainly the way that you will finish this year. And I want you guys to start well so that you can be good, not just good, but great finishers. So today we will be talking about how to go from good to great, and hopefully that is cool for you. I will be checking in with you guys along the way. If you have any questions, let me know. Kind of wish I had a second screen with me today, but I don't, so I'm running on one screen. So any questions, put them in as we go as normal. But here we go, off to a good start already. For some people, not you, but definitely someone that's here on this webinar today might be thinking that it's game over for 2017 already. Now, no one is going to audibly say this. No one is going to audibly say, oh, that's it, I give up, my year's over. And I get that. But there's some of you here today that are thinking, how am I going to break through? What is the thing that I need to do? I don't think I've got the capacity. I don't think I've got what it takes. How can I be a world-class business? How can I be, a millionaire success story? Do I even want that? Do I want to be bigger? Do I want to be more successful? For some of you, your mindset is saying game over already. For some of you, you've been defeated before you have even started the race. And I'm talking about your attitudinal qualities. I'm talking about your mental capacity. I'm talking about your state of thinking. I'm talking about your state of mind. And it's the thinking that starts stinking that makes you keep shrinking. I thought I would make it rhyme so it would stick. So if your thinking is stinking, you'll be shrinking, and then you're going to never be able to rise up. So if your thinking is at all stinking, it is not for me to change your mind. It's for you to make a decision to change your mind. You see, throughout the year last year, I got a lot of mediocre from a lot of you. Well, let me say right now that my business is world class, and a lot of stuff is going to go out the door. And the first thing that's going out the door is mediocre behavior, mediocre thinking, and stinking thinking. And I'm not talking about from me, but I'm talking about what I'm going to put up with. So if you're planning on using blame, excuse, denial, story, and all that sort of stuff, there's someone here that's registered for today's webinar that's double booked themselves and decided to go somewhere else instead of being here to learn in their investment. It's not you, but you'll be listening to this in the recording and saying, hey, he's talking about me. Yes, I am. If you can't turn up to the stuff, and I'm talking about the next webinar and the next one, you can't turn up to learning and make it important and put it in your plan, then you're not taking this as seriously as you need to. You will have a world-class business very quick if you take this very, very, very seriously. Otherwise, it's going to end up like a copy of last year. And what's going to happen is you'll end up blaming situations, blaming the coach, blaming the content, blaming time, blaming money, blaming shit that's out of your control. But the one real thing that you need to get in control of this year to be a world-class business is to get in control of your thoughts. And if you're driving a car around that's on empty all the time, then you're going to be anxious about how you're about to run out of fuel. You see, if you don't know where the fuel stops are and you don't know how to drive properly, then you're going to be a nervous Nelly on the road. And I don't want you to be nervous in your business. I want you to be empowered and strong and courageous. Is anyone with me? Does anyone want to feel that this year? Type in a yes with as many exclamation marks as you need to. Tell me that you're serious. Tell me that you're fair income. I want to know that you're with me. I want to know that you're world class. David Bowman's with me. Who else is with me? Emma Somerville's with me. Who else is on the same team? We got to get the thinking right. We got to get the behaviors right. It's got to be better. That's right, Andrew. And it starts with you, mate. Daniel Elias, it starts with you. It starts with you, Morris and Helen. It starts with you. And it's not about how good your coach is, because I'm telling you right now, you got the best coach in Australia, and I'm not going anywhere. And my business is just going to continue to grow and thrive. And what about yours? Are you prepared to take on a year where you can absolutely not just get by and not just build a little bit, but to, as I put in Profit Rocket today, be a voice and not an echo? Can you be somebody that's willing to stand up and talk about what you believe in and what you stand up for? Mel said, I have to admit, being mediocre last year for commitment to the program for 2017, yes, have to do it. Come on, guys. This is serious. You guys are throwing money at me. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I don't freaking want it unless you're going to get the results. Because if you get results, my business becomes even more world-class. If you can't do it for you, do it for me. I want to have success stories come out of this thing. I don't want clients that are mediocre. If you're planning on being mediocre, piss off. I don't want to work with you. I'm not willing to work with mediocre people anymore. I only want to work with world class. I only want to work with people that are serious. I only want to work with people that are willing to put in the hard work. I spoke with Dave and David this morning, and they've been putting in so much hard work for 2 years, nearly 2 years, and today they got breakthrough. They never gave up. They worked like maniacs through tears, through weddings, through moving houses, through all sorts of things. They've worked and they've finally got breakthrough today after years. It takes time and it takes great mindset and it takes never giving up. And that's what I expect from you this year. We're not having a copy of last year. Last year was good for some of you. Last year was Adam Sandler. Last year was mediocre. Last year was, that'll do. But this year, it's got to be worthwhile. If you haven't seen La La Land yet, go see it. But this year, I want you to blow people's freaking minds. If you're not willing to get out there and stand up for what you do and blow people's minds and blow them away and have an amazing business and make something worthwhile and have a real go at it and have a real stab and put some time and effort into it and make some sacrifices, and I'm telling you right now, you will just be in the same place doing the same shit, going around the same roundabout with the same thoughts, with the same bank balance, with the same crap going on in your life, and you'll never shift, and it all starts with you today. Today's the day you make the decisions, not tomorrow, not in a week, not when it's convenient, not when things start to be successful, but right N-O-W now. You make decisions today. Yes, this is what I want. Yes, this is where I'm going to go. Yes, this is what I'm willing to do. And you're going to plan it and you're going to stick to it and you're not going to make excuses and you're not going to lie to me and you're not going to tell me one thing and do another and you're not going to come to these webinars and then forget what I've said 5 minutes later, and you're not going to play a small game. If you agree, type in yes again. I want to know that you're with me. I want to know that you agree. I want to know that you're on track. I want to know that you've got a coach that's going to push you this year, and you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone, and you're going to be pushed and pushed and pushed. And I don't care if you have a tantrum. I'm going to be there with you while you have it. I don't care if you're going to make any excuse to me because it's not going to stick. You can make the excuses to yourself, but they're not going to stick either. But you've got to get past them, and you're going to move through it, and we're going to have the most amazing year yet. And I'm getting lots of yeses and one French yes, and that's cool as well. So, guys, that's not the end of the webinar. I want you to move from good to great. I want you to have just, you know what? Be sick of having a good business. Be sick of it. You don't want a good business anymore. You want a great business. You want other people to turn their heads at you. You want other people to turn around and say, look at what they're doing. You want other people to look at you and say, I'm jealous of that. I wish I could work that hard. I want their secret. I want to know what it is. And you know what? It's about, well, I'm about to show you how to get it, by the way. So if you're excited about how to get it, for those of you that are platinum members, I've already worked through this with you a little bit, but for the group members right now, and for the few of you that are group members that are on here, these are the 3 most important questions that anybody could ever ask you, ever. And I want you to take them very seriously. After we do that, I'm going to go through the planning and momentum sheets with you a little bit as well, and just show you once and for all how to use them and what my expectations are of you with those, so that you don't get tempted to play a mediocre game. So here are the 3 big questions. Whoops, I just go to my my Apple Watch had just started taking dictation from me. I don't know why, but I just looked down at my screen and everything I just said was on my screen. Okay, 3 big questions. Number 1, write this down. What are you deeply passionate about? What are you deeply passionate about? Now, there's people on here today that do different things. There's some people on this webinar today that make chocolate. There are some people on this webinar today that do the opposite of that, and they help people to work the chocolate off. There are people that will listen to the recording of this, and perhaps we've got restaurant owners, and we've got a couple of restaurant owners, caterers. We've got people on here on this webinar that have clothing businesses. We've got all sorts of businesses, right? Now, what you're deeply passionate about, I'll tell you right now, it is not your business necessarily. So Morris and Helen, I can see you're there and you make chocolate, but you're not necessarily deeply passionate about chocolate. But I know you guys pretty well, and I don't mind saying this. You're deeply passionate about family. I know that much about you guys, and it's not saying anything out of context or out of school here. For those of you that might think I'm breaking a confidence here, Morris and Helen are both deeply, deeply passionate about family, and there's other things they're deeply passionate about as well. But I want you to answer this question. What are you deeply, deeply, deeply passionate about? See, for me, I'll give you an example of how I want this question answered. And when I thought about it for myself, I said, I am deeply passionate about helping small to medium business owners, because that's who I want to work with. I'm deeply passionate about helping small to medium business owners, get this, find out who they really are, because every single person is already a complete success. However, they've learned some bad behaviors along the way, and my job is to help them strip away those bad behaviors so the true them will shine so brightly that other people can't help but see it. That's what I'm deeply passionate about, bringing out the absolute excellence in you. I have decided that that is my mission. Now, how do I do that? Well, I do it through the things I teach, and I do it through the conversations we have. But my absolute mission is to see through the dirt and see through the fog and see through the crap and see through the hurt and see through the pain and see through the excuses and see through the muck and see through the years, and really work with you on what you are deeply passionate about and help you to understand that you are unique, that you are truly unique, and it's that uniqueness that will give you the flavor for your business, and that it's you, it's truly you that people will become attracted to. So even if you're a franchise owner on here, you step into life guys that are on here, you know, you all wear the same t-shirts, but you've got a different person underneath. And unless that truly unique, deep passion comes out, unless it's seen, you'll just be beige like everyone else, and you won't be attractive, and nobody will come to you that is seeking something different. You see, if you don't give them something different, then you'll never get people that are seeking something different. People don't want the same beige thing all the time. People are sick of beige socks and they want to stand out. People want something that's different. So I need you to find your deep passion so you'll know exactly what it is that you can say. Because you see, and I'll go a bit deeper into this in just a couple of minutes. The second question I have for you is, what can you provide that is world class? What can you do and what can you provide that is absolutely world class? Not locally good. If you're comparing yourself still to local businesses, come on, look up. Stop looking to your left and looking to your right or looking down. Look up, look beyond, look out. Look beyond your current city. Look beyond your current set of circumstances. Look beyond where you're at the moment. World class. Can you do world class? Yes, you absolutely can. Only present world class. If you've got something that's mediocre, get rid of it. If you've got a car with signage on it and you don't wash it every single day and make it look great every day, then that's a one step towards world class. If you're seen and in the public image and you don't dress nicely, that's something to change. If what you have to say isn't well thought out and well considered and double checked and triple checked and cross checked and really well thought out and matured, then don't do it. If what you're teaching is, you're not quite sure on it, don't do it. If what you're selling isn't quite world class and you think it's a bit shit, don't sell it. If you've got a service that you're serving people on and you're not quite sure, don't do it. Only do what's world class. And what this means is that you've got to strip a whole heap of stuff back, or maybe even one or two things, or even if it's one thing, you've got to get rid of it. If there's something you're not confident with, get rid of it. If there's something that you don't think is right, get rid of it. And if you don't want to get rid of it, get bloody good at it. Find some time to discipline yourself to get bloody good at it. If you're a trainer and you're training people in something and you're feeling a bit incongruent with what you're training them on because perhaps you're not up to that level yourself, get good at it. Get world class at it. And if you're not world class, then you know what? You don't deserve world class money. You don't deserve world class success. You don't deserve world class recognition, and you don't deserve to be able to go to that next level and have a great business, and you'll always stay stuck at that mediocre level. If you keep doing the things you've been doing, you're never going to get through to that next level. And if it sounds like I'm being a bit harsh today, if it sounds like I'm being a bit preachy, then suck it up, princess, because this is what you need to hear. You need to know that it's time for you to not play small anymore. You playing small sucks. You playing small is just other people looking at you wishing you'd play a bigger game. Is this useful, guys? Are you getting this in? If it's getting in, just say it's getting in. Type it in for me. Tell me it's getting in. Tell me it's resonating. Tell me you like it. Tell me you're hearing it. Whatever you want, right? I need you to know that I'm in this for you so hardcore this year. It has to get in. If anyone's getting an emotion over it, good. I've spoken to a few of my platinum clients this week. I love speaking with all of you on the phone. And there's times this week where there's been real tears from some clients who I love so deeply. There's been real tears just from saying these things. If no emotion's coming up with this, guys, then it's not getting in deep enough. If you don't believe this about yourself and there's no emotion coming up over it, then it's not getting in deep enough. You need this to hit you right in the feels. And if it's not hitting you in the feels just yet, hopefully it sinks in throughout the course of today and over the weekend. Here's your third question. What drives your economic engine? Okay. I myself have been guilty of this last year. I spent way too much time looking at what's going on social media and things like that, and looking at other people's stuff, and maybe thinking, oh gee whiz, it's maybe I should do some of that, or maybe I should do what they're doing. And I did do that a little bit last year, and I apologize if anyone caught me doing that. I probably shouldn't have. I didn't focus last year enough on what drives my economic engine. Even though we had a record year last year, it was the best year I've ever had in business, and the turnover was incredible. My accountant did handstands. It was just unbelievable. We've never had so much wealth in our business. I don't mind saying it. It was great. I feel very blessed in what I've had. But this year, the focus is only on what drives my economic engine. And for you, I want you to be seriously considerate with your output. Let me say this again. I want you to be seriously considerate with your output. There is to be no bitching. There is to be no moaning. There is to be no getting sucked into crap. I look at all of your social media, and I've been guilty of this as well. I'm not saying I'm perfect, by all means. I'm just saying get on board with this new decision. Because here's the thing as well. You're always being watched by your audience, always. So let's be proactive and plan what we're putting out. Everything we do and say, everywhere we walk, whatever we do, whatever we wear, however we dress, wherever we go out for dinner, everything has to have a focus on how it's driving our economic engine. So is a personal trainer going out, not that anyone does this, but is a personal trainer going out and getting pissed on the weekend in public where people can see them, is that driving an economic engine? Or is it throwing a spanner in the works? Is getting on Facebook, and no one here did this ever last year at all, is getting on Facebook and saying Donald Trump is a dickhead driving your economic engine? Is looking at, and I see this as well, by the way, is looking at Facebook and being on Facebook chat throughout the day when you should be focused on your own marketing, is that driving your economic engine? See, my Facebook chat is open 24/7 because I have the Profit Rocket group on here and I want to see when the alerts are coming up if anyone needs me, but it shouldn't be, right? So that's not driving my economic engine, and you probably find this year I'm going to be on Facebook less and less and less and less. The more I'm driving my economic engine towards what I want people to come to, so people can take the next step. So what are you planning on doing that's driving your economic engine this year, and what's your output going to be like? Because the first question of what are you deeply passionate about? First question describes who you are. Now, this is module 1 of the 90-day business transformation. Get this in. It's not just about doing some homework and discovering some stuff. It's about implementing. It's about finding out exactly who you are and being that person and living in that body and living in that way and speaking in that way and getting so ingrained in who you are that you become so unique and so attractive and so seen that you rise above the normal and above the beige. Don't be afraid of that. It's you and your uniqueness that is going to describe who you are that will help people to become attracted to you. The second question describes who you are. So that second question is describes what you do. Sorry, I got messed up there. What can you do that's world class? Well, that describes what you do. If you're only doing things that are world class, then your to-do list is going to shrink. I say that again. If you decide that what you're going to do in 2017 is world class, then your to-do list is going to shrink. Does a world-class business do their own bookkeeping? Does a world-class business do everything themselves? Or does a world-class business make tough decisions to outsource stuff that's outside of their area of expertise? Does a world-class business count pennies and worry about money? Or does a world-class business take their goods, services, products, or whatever out to the marketplace and invite people to it? Does a world-class business just look at the amount of people that they have buying off them right now and say, that'll do? Or does a world-class business get out there and say, more people need to know about this because it's the freaking best thing ever? Does a world-class business rely on somebody to hear them sook about what's going on? Or does a world-class business get out there and make changes? Does a world-class business make excuses? Or does a world-class business make a difference? See, whatever you decide is going to determine what you do. And I really hope that what you do this year makes me scared. I want to be able to look at what you're doing this year and fair dinkum shit myself. I want to see what's going on in your life this year, and I want you to inspire me. It's your job to turn up. It's your job to blow my mind. Take this to the next level. Really ramp it up. Hoorah! So it's really weird. I'm here in a room by myself, getting all excited with you guys who are all over Australia. But I know you're with me. I know you're with me because you keep telling me. The third thing, what drives your economic engine? That's going to show me how you execute. Only be focused. Now, here's something that I really want you to know today. All of you are thinking about your goals, and we're going to talk about your goals in a minute, about how big they are. Actually, let's talk about it now, about your execution. You all think that your goals are massive. And if you don't think your goals are massive, then they bloody well should be. If you're not thinking they're huge, then you need to reset your goals. Your goals for the year should be nosebleed status. They should challenge the crap out of you. You should see mine. They scare me. I have trouble glancing at them at the corner of my eye some days. They are so bright that they scare me. They're so bright that other people look at my goals and say they're impossible. Other people look at my goals and say it can't be done. My wife even looks at my goals and says, are you sure that that's how big you want to aim? And I say, yes, that's where I want to aim. That's what I want, and that's what we'll have. But they've got to be the right size for now. And see, a lot of you set these massive goals and you don't even start them because they're too big. But all you've got to focus on is the small steps that it's going to take for you to get there. So all we need to do is focus on the next steps. It's the next step and the next step and the next step. So today I'm going to go through the tools with you that you will use in order to take the next step. So have you downloaded, you can see here on these tabs, we've got some tabs to go through. Have you downloaded your quarterly momentum sheets, your January sheets, and your daily sheets, and your monthly? Actually, I don't have the monthly one up here yet. Sorry. I forgot to grab that one. I shall go grab that now. Just tell me who's downloaded it while I go grab the monthly sheet. I'm just going to type in to my Dropbox. Won't be a second. Yes, just tell me there if you have downloaded. I get the monthly sheet, January. Oh, do I have January up already? Oh, I do. There it is. Thought I was organised. Okay, so a few of you, yes. Some of you know. So we've got to use these tools so that we can grow your business. Let's have a look at them. Oh, by the way, here's the quarterly momentum planner. You'll be pleased to know that we've now made it so you can type into it. If you would like a copy of the typing into version, Melissa is going to be sending them out to you all. So it's good, right? So you can now type into them so that you don't have to waste a whole bunch of paper. So annual goals. You'll notice that there is only 5. So, you'll type in goal number 1, world. Oh, you don't even have to type in goal number 1. You can just type in goal number 1, world domination. Goal number 2, cure cancer. Goal number 3, $1 million per day. Goal number 4, 12 sports cars. And your last goal, which is marry a supermodel. Already done that. That's cool. So what I want you to do then next is from your annual goals, you've got to say, okay, well, which of these goals can I do in the first quarter? The first quarter is January, February, and March, just for those of you that don't know. But before you do that, I want you to look over here at major events. So you might just go on the date on the 29th of the 2nd, it's Jamie's birthday. So, that's a big deal. That's going to take up a week. In March, so let's do this properly, 15th of the 3rd, Sydney, and, you might have some other things coming up. So whatever major events are coming up, you put them in over there. Then you look at the quarter 1 objectives and you go, what can I realistically achieve out of this list here in my first quarter if this is what I want to do for the year? So you think, okay, I'm going to go with the easiest, lowest hanging fruit first. So first thing I need to do is the $1 million per day. And I think out of that, I can also so before that, I'm probably going to have to do 100K per month. Before that, I'm going to have to, so you scale back, and whatever the next thing is. Then you go, right, out of the first quarter, what am I going to do in January? What's the next step? Well, to get to here and to get to here, what do I need to do here? So what's my next step? In February, what will I achieve as a result of achieving this? What will I achieve here in February? And because I've achieved these two things here in March, what will I be able to achieve in March? Then these ones here, these are the actionable steps. Action number 1, action number 2, and so on. These take deep consideration. What can I do? How can I action these? What do I really need to do in order to make these things turn up? Your benchmarks, you get filled in later. Benchmarks are after you've done the action steps, what's happening here that shows that you're doing what you said you'd do up here? What are the results of some of the things that are going on up here? Then on your monthly sheets, now I can't type in this one yet, but Melissa's working on getting me the typable version of this one. You copy your quarter 1 objectives here, just directly copy them over to here. I'll just bring up the hand icon over to here. You guys see that? Then your monthly objectives for January here, directly copy them into this box here. By the way, this sheet, you'll notice it has the dates up until the end of January. We will be sending you a link via email and in Profit Rocket every month before the end of January. So it'll be about the 23rd. We'll send you the February sheet so you can plan your February. Around the 20th of February or 22nd of February, we'll send you out the March sheet. As long as you stay within the program, you'll get a new sheet. That's my cocaine deal for you guys. As long as you stay with me, you'll get the new sheets. Deal? Cool. So then all I want you to do is write down what's happening between the 2nd and the 8th. That is what? That is going to, check it out. Just go up a slide. Up one more, up one more. That's going to drive your economic engine. What goes in these lines here, 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 and here is what will drive your economic engine. You might have some other projects. You may have some open days. You may have some tours. Morris and Helen, you might have a cruise ship coming in, something you didn't expect. There might be an awards coming up or something coming up. This is what you can put in the emergent projects. So something new coming up, but it doesn't become a distraction. Then you may have other things scheduled throughout the month. Write it down, put it in. Why? Because every day, I'll shrink this down a bit so we can see the whole thing. Every day, so you'll need to have a bunch of these potentially. I like to print them out. I'm looking at having some pads of these made up. So like a couple of hundred or like 300, and maybe I can get 365 in a pad. If you guys would like some pads, tell me if that's something that would interest you. Just type in pads and I'll get some pads made up. What do you say, Mel? Great Christmas present ideas. Yeah. Cool. So a few of you want some pads. Great. Well, I'll go to Fuji Xerox today and I'll get a quote on the pads. Let's see how cheap I can get them. If they're real cheap, I'll give them out. If not, I'll let you know the price and you guys can order them through me. Is it something you'd be willing to pay for, guys? Or is it something that you want for free? Tell me in the comments. If you're willing to pay for it, I'll get us for the best price in the country. Morris and Helen are willing to pay. That's cool. That means, see, they put pay. That means I'm going to be generous now and just give them one because they're amazing. So Can pay world-class price. Mel, Kathy, love it, love it, love it. Paper. Okay, cool. So let's see if I can keep the costs really, really low. Even if you guys end up just paying postage or something like that, I'll see if I can keep the costs really, really low for it. But here's the thing, right? This is to keep you on task, because who's like me and freaking get to the end of the day some days and you go, oh, holy snap and duck feathers. I ran out of time. I ran out of energy. I had too much to do. I got distracted. My phone rang too much. I accidentally spent too much time on Facebook. I checked my emails 15 times. I went shopping when I should have been going door to door, setting up joint ventures. And I'm just talking about me here, guys, right? I'm not saying that you would do this. I'm just talking about myself. But if you guys are guilty as I am, then, you know, you got the same problems as I do, which is why I created these sheets. And by the way, I have to give credit where credit's due. I have purchased these sheets from another company. I spent a lot of time working with these dudes who are way, 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 way clever at this. And this is a product that I've spent a lot of time getting organized and making it look pretty and getting it getting some great evidence that they work, because I didn't want to provide something that was going to be BS for you guys. So these are they're about 10 years old, the company that I bought them from, and they only specialize in this. And that's why we've been able to provide them for you at a really high level, and why I'm able to give you every single every single month. We were going to do weekly ones as well, but I just found it was a bit overkill. So we did have weekly sheets as well, but going from this one here, the month, down to the daily, I thought was enough for you guys. So we're not going to be providing the weekly sheets. Sorry. It's just too much administration and too much of a hassle. So you're going to type in what you're doing each day and when that project is due. You're going to type in, if you're a trainer, as I know some of you are, what time your classes are and when you're doing them. You're then going to transfer them over to here. So you might have, you start work at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 5 a.m. for some of you. Yep, got it, Mel, 5 a.m. And you work through till whatever time. So you're going to put your times in. You're then going to put in the supporting tasks. So it might be need to speak to the VA, need to speak to your ATs, need to speak to your staff, need to speak to your chocolate makers, need to speak to your restaurant staff, need to speak to whoever, supporting tasks. Then you're going to put in here how you feel about that. So we've just made those tick boxes for you, nice and easy. So, you know, I feel really crap about having to do this day. So one of it might be like talk with Grant, and I feel amazing about that. And one of them might be meet with lawyer, and you might not feel so good about that. Whatever it is, put in the supporting tasks for it. Then emergent tasks, you've got to keep these sheets with you throughout the day. So if you've got an iPad or whatever, or got your laptop with you, I want you to be able to take these sheets with you, because sometimes it says unplanned things pop up. You've got to write them down. It's no good to you if you don't have this with you. So if you want to type it out at the start of the day, or I would prefer you did it the night before for the next morning. Why would I prefer that? Because I want you to have a good night's sleep. I want you to be well rested and refreshed. So in the morning, you go downstairs, you pick up your car keys, your coffee, and your daily momentum planner, and away you go. And you just get on with your day. So here's how it works. You've heard me say it before. You make your big plan. Think once. And by the way, these annual goals, this comes out of my webinar from last year where you made your, let's see if I can remember where I left mine. Okay, it's in, oh, I can't even show you anyway. Remember we did the calendar with all the colors? Of course you remember that. Well, your annual goals come from that last year's planning webinar that we did together. Then you bring it down into your specific dates, then your daily stuff. Right. So they are the tools that you need to use so that you can become a world-class business. And if there's anybody that doesn't think they can do it with these tools, I want to hear from you now. So for the last 10 minutes or so that we have together, I'm going to be answering questions about this. If you have something to ask me, if you have a comment, if you have a suggestion, if there's something extra that you'd like, if there's something you think you need that I haven't provided for you, I don't want to leave you guys with any excuses this year. So there can be no excuses. There is only accountability and action and world-class. So is there something world-class that you feel you need outside of this? Or are you just willing to right now get on with it? Whatever your response is, so if you're just willing to get on with it, and if it's great and you love it, type that in. If you need something extra, I want to hear from you now. David Bowman's going to get on with it. That's good. Mel Hyatt's good to go. I should put on some thinking music for you guys. Emma Somerville's getting on with it. Getting jiggy with it, getting on with it. Morris and Helen say, excellent. Daniel's getting on with it. Okay, so this year, 2017, there can be no excuses because you've got the tools. Now, I want something from you guys today. Oh, Andrew Reed, copywriting. He says, loved what you did to help us. Free PT, unlike the crap we came up. Do I outsource? Well, copywriting, love what you did. Unlike the crap we. Do I outsource? You know what, Andrew? Why don't I do a webinar on copywriting? Would that be helpful? Would you guys all like to have a webinar on copywriting? Let me know. And I can teach you guys the tools to copyright. Just a yes or a no with copyright. So yes, copywriting, or no copywriting. Yes, yes, cool. Mel Cathy said time to plan my time and sharpen the shit up. Yes, cool. Well, it's official. I'm going to do a webinar on copywriting. I'm going to teach you guys. In fact, you know what? I think I did one. Didn't I do one last year? Let me just check. YouTube and video marketing. What did I do here? I've got all the list here. I was supposed to just create a crowd, next year plan. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I dreamt it. Okay. I did a podcast, Mel. Right, guys. Yes, podcast on Milton. Thank you. I knew I had done it somewhere. Guys, I will do the podcast as a webinar for you guys. Very personal, up close and personal. Who here has subscribed to my podcast with a yes or a no? Don't worry, I'm not going to beat you up if you haven't. But who has subscribed to my podcast? So far, I know Mel has. In fact, Mel Hyatt, I don't want to embarrass her, but she's my biggest fan on my podcast. She listens to them more than anyone else, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, Mel. It's really cool to know. It's the only thing I listen to while folding clothes. That's ace. Daniel Alea says, I think so. Daniel, you would know if you had because you'd be listening to it every Tuesday. Andrew hasn't subscribed, but he's listened to them. Andrew, go ahead and subscribe. Mel, you'd know if you'd subscribed because you would have listened to them. There are 13 podcasts up there at the moment. They go for 20 minutes. One of them, I think, goes for a little longer, maybe two of them, or maybe three of them go for a little longer than that, where I did 3 interviews with some world-class business leaders. Guys, the content on those podcasts is freaking amazing. And I don't mind saying so. It is freaking amazing. Register for them. Here's what else I want you to do. And I want you to do this today as soon as we're finished. Mel said, good stuff, great value. Thank you, Mel, especially seeing as it's free. Hopefully it is good value. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get into the Profit Rocket group straight away after this webinar today, and I want you to type in the 3 things you learned from today's webinar, and I want you to share it inside the Profit Rocket group. That Profit Rocket group needs your lifeblood in it. I cannot carry that group around. I need you to be active in it. I need you to participate. And your videos are great. I love it. But I want you to put in there today, just was on today's webinar with Grant, I learned this. And here's what I'm going to implement. You can type it in. You can do a video. You can draw a painting. You can write it on a piece of paper and take a photo of it. You can write it on the local, you can graffiti it on the wall at your local skate park and take a photo of that. I don't care what you do. Make it world class. Let's make the Profit Rocket group world class. You are an ingredient in my business. You are an ingredient in Profit Rocket. You are an ingredient in the 90-day business transformation. And the value of that group will rise as your input rises. The more good things you have to say and the more value you add, the better and the richer and the more fruitful it will become. So are you guys prepared to do that for me today? Are you prepared to dazzle me? Are you prepared to show me what you've learned and show me what you're going to do? Are you prepared to get in there and encourage some other people that are perhaps a little bit behind you guys? Come on, guys. Let's do this. Let's make this year the best year ever. Let's make this year really turn up. Let's make this year shine. Let's make 2017 your breakthrough year. You've had all the planting last year, a bit of pruning, a bit of manure dumped on you. Now let's eat the fruit. Let's go and let's make this year the best year that you've ever had in your life. And I'm there for you the whole way through. And guys, this is all that I have to say today. If there's anyone that would like to ask me any questions now, just very quickly put in a full stop and press enter so I know to stick around. Otherwise, I'm going to go and brave the elements. It is we got all the bad weather coming through from Adelaide, and it's going to be crap weather for the cricket probably tomorrow. But if you guys are watching the 2020 tomorrow, watching the Hobart Hurricanes, it's our last game. You keep an eye out for me on the TV. I might be on there, but it looks like no one's got any questions. So that is it for today's first webinar back. As you can tell, I'm full of beans, full of energy, full of passion, enthusiasm, encouragement, empowerment, and equipment for you guys. Thanks so much for being a part of today's webinar. I'm really grateful that you're here. Let's go on and make this our best year ever. Have a great weekend, guys. God bless you. Sell with courage. Let's go.